Whenever we're trying to make things happen fast, but it usually means we want to skip ahead. And unfortunately, when you skip ahead, you miss out on like the muscle strength and experience you need for where you're going to go. So then when you get there, not only are you further along than you are strong enough to be, but now you don't have the skill set to handle the problems you have.
Welcome to the Be It Till You See It podcast, where we talk about taking messy action, knowing that perfect is boring. I'm Lesley Logan, Pilates instructor and fitness business coach. I've trained thousands of people around the world, and the number one thing I see stopping people from achieving anything is self-doubt. My friends, action brings clarity, and it's the antidote to fear. Each week, my guests will bring bold, executable, intrinsic, and targeted steps that you can use to put yourself first and be it till you see it. It's a practice, not a perfect. Let's get started.
Welcome back to the Be It Till You See It interview recap, where my co-host in life, Brad, and I are going to dig into the sustainable convo I had with Stephanie O'Day in our last episode. If you haven't yet listened to that episode, you need to. As part of a slow living request, you got to go rush over and
just rush right now. Get over there.
Do not pass go. You got to listen to it. She's so great. She's so fun. I got to be on her podcast as well. But also, she's like a famous, like slow cooking person. Like she's
crock pot.
She's a famous crock pot.
Not
person.
Instapot.
Yeah, no.
She was very upset about the instant pot.
She was. And we were really in on the Insta pot, but we got off the Instapot. We like made soup.
Yeah, still do occasionally.
Yeah.
It's a good time.
Just we're never home when it's soup weather. Speaking of what day today is June 19th, 2025, and it's Juneteenth here in the United States. The freedom of African Americans from slavery in the U.S. in 1865 is celebrated on the holiday Juneteenth on June 19th. Juneteenth is made up of the words June and 19th.
In case you didn't know.
Really, just whoever writes these, it's always just the explanation of the day using the day. You can't
it's celebrated every year on this day.
Yes. And it is on this day that Major General Gordon Granger, arrived in Texas more than 155 years ago to inform slaves that slavery had been abolished. Yeah. Today is also...
Well I just want to comment on that. So
I know.
Because they just ignored the messengers and they were like, nah, we're good. We're going to keep doing...
Not the slaves, the bad people.
Yeah, the slavers.
Slavers.
They were like, yeah, we're just going to keep going. And then they sent... Well, actually, I actually don't know who came first. It's possible that Gordon Granger got there to make the initial announcement, and then later it had to be enforced.
Yeah. And I feel like I've read about. Here's what I do every Juneteenth. I actually read about it, and I find myself appalled that this happened. And then also, of course, it didn't. And also, at the time we're recording this.
Also, of course, it did. What?
I said at the time that we're recording.
No, before that. You said.
Of course, it did. Of course, bad things. Of course, it happened because there's shitty people. Yeah. Of course, it happened. But on this time that we are recording this, it is the day after. A very, very huge slave, like the largest sugar plantation slave house, burned to the ground. It was turned into a wedding venue. And so people were having those antebellum weddings. And it's like humongous, tons of rooms, like what was one of the worst slave places in Louisiana. And it burned to the ground. And I have to say, people are celebrating the fuck out of it online, and I have no problems with that. In fact, I was celebrating and smiling with them. Every reel of every person like dancing and going, "Oh, do you need some water?" and then pouring it away from the fire. I was like, "Yes, yes" to all of it, because I mean, it's bad. So, anyways, please make sure that you are honoring Juneteenth today. Take some time to read up on it if you didn't know about it. We obviously still have some more reading to do, but it's an important day.
And remember this Major General.
Yeah, Major General Gordon Granger.
That's a mouthful.
That is a mouthful. I mean, his parents didn't name him Major General, so... yeah.
Fortunately for his parents.
What if he become a ranger? Then he'd be Ranger Granger.
Major General Gordon Granger Ranger.
No, he would have just been a ranger. It would have been Ranger Granger. All right. Today is also the International Day for the Elimination of Sexual Violence and Conflict for everyone else out there in the world. So we wanted to, because it's an international show, and so on this International Day for the Elimination of Sexual Violence and Conflict is observed every year on June 19th to raise awareness about sexual violence and conflict and to strategize ways to end these crimes throughout the world. On June 19, 2015, the United Nations General Assembly proclaimed the date as the International Day for the Elimination of Sexual Violence and Conflict. This date commemorates the adoption of Security Council Resolution 1820, in which the council condemned sexual violence as a tactic of war and an impediment to peace building. Yeah, well,
this one's heavy.
It's a heavy day. Brad, these are heavy.
Yeah, I mean, like I listened to a lot of deep dive interviews about the conflicts in Europe, and in
it's terrible what they do
in the Middle East and in Africa, and like they're using rape as a tool of war in
so many countries and
in the Ukraine.
Yeah,
it's historically.
It's happening. It's happened for centuries, and it happens everywhere, and it is horrifying. So I think it's. I can't believe it took till 2015 for the world to be like, this is a bad thing.
Well, I mean, it's been, it's a war crime. It's been war crime for a really long time. But I don't, maybe just this, the day bringing awareness to it.
Do you know who gets to be the court for war crimes? Like, who does it?
Yeah, so there's the International Criminal Court, the ICC.
Oh.
Yeah, and we're not a part of it. We don't honor the ICC as the United States of America, which is a complicated political decision.
We are winning. We are winning in the history books right now, guys.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? I think we need to bring this day up a little bit. So, first of all, I think Juneteenth is a positive holiday, right?
Yeah, Juneteenth is a positive holiday. I think that it's important to remember, but also it's a day of celebration.
Yeah.
So love that.
Okay. Yeah. And
we can talk more about the ICC later, y'all. If you're really interested.
I don't think anyone came here. We'll give Brad his own segment at the end.
I listen to a lot of this kind of stuff, and it's interesting. It's interesting why we chose not to be part of it, but also we still...
Well, because we would be in trouble for war crimes all the time.
We would be in trouble for war crimes.
Yes.
That's right.
That's right.
Yep.
Okay. But you know what's happening? That's going to be more fun than all of this talk. July...
Slow living.
Yes. Slow living. July 9th, we are hosting... Wait. Oh, we are doing this. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so this is actually happening.
Okay, but there's a few things going on. And July is very busy.
July is a busy month for us.
So it's June right now, obviously Juneteenth. But July 9th, I am hosting an Elevate workout and Q&A. So if you're a Pilates instructor, this is a free workout. It's a way to get your questions about Elevate and my mentorship answered. You can hear from people who've done Elevate and why they like it and why you should do it. Because you shouldn't take it from me. You can take it from the people who've been part of it. Yeah. So you want to go to leslielogan.co/elevate waitlist, leslielogan.co/elevate waitlist. Then on July 17th, we are doing an agency mini. Yes, we are bringing it back.
Pilates instructors and
studio owners. If you remember, we used to, up until last year, do a little week-long coaching program for Pilates instructors and studio owners, and we loved it and it was amazing. And then we stopped doing it and we're like, we're never doing it again, because it was the parts of it that were amazing, and some of the parts were overwhelming, and they were overwhelming.
Yeah, not just for us, but also for the attendees.
Mostly it was less about us, more about, so we have been working behind the scenes on making some amazing changes, and now we have a new mini.
We've got a mini, but we're just still calling it mini.
Yeah.
But it's only 3 days, not 7.
Yes. And you get all the best parts of mini, which is a workshop on how to actually attract clients you want to work with. Then you get to use Lesley on Demand, this amazing tool to help you with your I help statement. And then you get to join office hours with Brad and I. It includes breath work. And we're going to answer all the burning questions about your business on this call. It's so much fun. Yeah. You can see if agency is right for you, but also you can get questions answered and, take that information with you.
Party about your biz. It's going to be good. Go to prfit.biz/mini, prfit.biz/mini.
And then
July. End of July.
Yeah, I believe we actually start on the 24th, but maybe we start on the 25th. Don't ask me. We start end of July. And we go to August 17th, and it's the OPC Summer Tour. You're going to go to opc.me/tour to get your tickets and see the cities we're going to. We are going.
We teach in Phoenix on the 25th. So
on
we
the
could go down on the 24th.
Oh, okay, cool.
If we choose.
Well, we'll do whatever. Maybe we'll go to the Oatman Ranch and we'll go play with the donkeys.
I don't remember that.
Yeah,
but
I
that
told you
sounds
about
fun.
it. I told you about it.
Oatman?
I think it's called Oatman. Anyways, you guys, we're going to start in Phoenix and we're going to go to San Diego. Then it's Los Angeles. Then it's Santa Barbara. And then maybe a city in between. And then San Francisco. And then Sacramento. And then Eureka. And then Portland. And Seattle. Vancouver. Yes, you just heard. Vancouver, Canada. And then Kamloops, Canada. And Calgary, Canada. And then we're going to come down into Idaho and Utah.
We're going to swing through Montana for a bit. We want to see Glacier.
Well, for vacation.
But yeah.
Yeah, so, but, we'll be
posting up at a coffee shop in Whitefish, probably.
Yeah. Well, and
Make a good
anyway,
time.
you want to go to opc.me/tour to snag your tickets. And by the way, we ended in Las Vegas, and that class already sold out.
I know. It's insane.
24
I can't
hours.
believe it. Bam.
24 hours class sold out. We
like
already have
20
a wait list.
seats in.
Yeah.
That's.
Well, we did tell them if they wanted us to come. And they did.
They answered.
Yeah.
Good for y'all.
So, yeah, opc.me/tour. Of course, we are sponsored again by Balance Body and Contrology. We're bringing our Contrology equipment. It's going to be so
great.
much fun. Then in September, we are going to be in the UK. We have two amazing stops, Leeds and Essex. Leeds, you can get 2-day pass there. There's only 3 spots left. So
only 3
literally
spots
3
left in Leeds.
At the time that we're recording. So we're recording this obviously before Juneteenth. So you never know. And then in Essex, we actually opened up the day passes because we're doing Essex on a Tuesday and a Wednesday.
Yeah.
So you could do an all-day Tuesday.
Come out for the day
or
from the city.
All-day Wednesday. We know it's not easy to get 2 days away during the week. But also, it's really hard to get away on the weekends. So we offered you 2 options during the week and on the weekends. opc.me/UK. That's where you want to go. And then, of course, in October, you can come with us to Cambodia. Holy moly, we are insanity. Have you heard this? This schedule? And then he wanted to take me camping in here, guys.
Oh, we're going.
We're going camping, apparently.
Yeah, we're going camping somewhere in
We have
there.
a very expensive storage that we live in sometimes. So Cambodia is
you mean our house?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
I love it so much. But Cambodia is, you'll be at our house in Cambodia, and we do retreat stuff and workshops and temple tours, and we do massages.
It's
we
just
eat
going to
good
be amazing.
food. So go to crowsnestretreats.com. crowsnestretreats.com. The plural is on the crows and the retreats, but not the nest. So there you go. All right. We got to get to Stephanie, but before we get there, Brad, do we have a question to answer?
We do. At Creative Soul Pilates on Instagram asked, "Hey LL, are you coming down to the IE anytime soon?" IE is Inland Empire, which is Southern California. Basically, it's between Los Angeles and Riverside. Mm-hmm. So, I think actually Riverside is also considered IE.
I think that Riverside is the IE. Is it also, is Covina the IE?
Covina and West Covina. I think they're south of LA. I don't think they're technically IE.
They're Orange County?
Closer to Orange County, I believe.
Well, anyways.
If I'm wrong, hit me.
You know
hit
what,
me,
everyone?
y'all. Let me know.
If you all want to know LA well, go watch Everybody's in LA. Just watch at least first episode.
I'm 1,000% wrong. Covina is directly south of Glendora and Azusa. So it's where the 15 cuts down. Nope, it's not the 15. So it's towards Pomona. It's the beginning of IE. West Covina and Covina are like the beginning of the San Bernardino Valley.
Well, at any rate, to answer your question, we are not going to be anywhere near the IE. We are going to be in Toluca Lake. I guess that's not far from the IE, but it is. We are going to be, basically we're in the valley of Los Angeles, close to Burbank, right? Toluca Lake is like Burbank.
Toluca Lake is Studio City, Burbank. It's between the two, near Van Nuys.
It's going to be on our West Coast pop-up tour.
I'm so excited.
I know.
I freaking love Los Angeles so much, and I cannot wait to just be back.
I know.
I literally used to live 2 streets over from where the studio is.
Well, and also
for years.
We're actually using the studio that we did the accessories flashcard photo shoot at.
That is
true. So I actually got to live in this part of LA for a week, and now I can say I lived in that part of the valley. It's really, really fun. So we'll be at Strong Body, but it's part of our summer tour. And so you got to come because here's the deal. we when we go to LA, we typically go to hang out with friends, and we pretty much try to avoid working as much as possible. But
true.
because we're on tour,
It's true.
and we want an excuse to see LA again, we are making a stop at Strong Body. So go to opc.me/LA for tickets to the LA event. Or if you go to opc.me/tour, you'll see San Diego, Santa Barbara, because people who live in LA also live very far from the center of LA typically. So like Poway as the San Diego city. So, there's some really good stuff. But thanks, you guys, we have a really easy place for you to send your questions in. You can text us at 310-905-5534.
Yes.
Or you can actually submit your questions or a win at beitpod.com/questions.
That's
so
right.
Now you
beitpod.com/questions.
can just do it there. And it's so easy.
Yeah.
And you can be anonymous if you want to. You can't, whatever you want.
Well, so for the Friday episodes, we celebrate wins. And now instead of people sending DMs, fill out this form, it actually makes it easier for you too. Because then it's clear what it is and we know what's going on. All the things. So beitpod.com/questions.
And you could put your win there too. I know we didn't want to have two links. We just wanted to have one. So we could have called it Quest Wins.
Quest Wins. We could have. That would have really gone over well with trying to figure out how to spell that.
All right.
Well,
all
look,
right.
stick around. We're going to talk about slow living. This break will be fast, but the conversation about Stephanie O'Day is going to be really exciting. So we'll be right back. All right. Now, welcome back. Let's talk about Stephanie O'Day. She's a writer. She's a coach. She's a teacher and a speaker who helps people embrace
She's a teacher and a
slow
speaker.
living.
I like how that sounded.
She's a teacher and a speaker. Her journeys began in 2008 when a viral blog where she used her crock pot every single day for an entire year landed her on national TV and got her a book deal. And she said that journey lasted for about 8 years before things really changed with the introduction of the Instant Pot. Fascinating. She said when that trend rose, she realized faster isn't always better. After stepping back to unplug, she discovered her true gift was helping others reach their goals in a slow, steady, and sustainable way. A mission she now shares through her Slow Living podcast.
So first of all, okay, I would just have to say, I was on her pod and I was like, okay, like this is great, this is wonderful. And I really enjoyed her. I thought she was so sweet. And then she came on the pod and I was like, I'm in the presence of like a celebrity. And I was like, oh my God, I'm sure like your mom and your grandma and like all these people
know
probably
who she is.
know she is. And I'm sitting here going, oh my God, who are you? Hold on.
Well, she, not only that, she is really fun.
Oh yeah.
And like snarky.
Yeah.
And, like the things that she was saying, she's got a lot of experience, going through life, and I appreciated it and I enjoyed it. And it was a really great conversation. In fact, I feel like it's probably a conversation, y'all, that you would want to save. So if you have not had a chance to go back and listen, I would recommend it.
Yeah.
But
so slow living, you guys, stands for look only within. So trusting your inner voice and intuition to find answers. And I really love that we talked about slow living is meeting your goals. It meets all of them, but it just does it as you said in the bio, in a nice, sustainable way. Some of us are really trying to make things happen fast. And this one book that I read every morning was whenever we're trying to make things happen fast, but it usually means we want to skip ahead. And unfortunately, when you skip ahead, you miss out on the muscle strength and experience you need for where you're going to go. So then when you get there, not only are you further along than you are strong enough to be, but now you don't have the skill set to handle the problems you have. And so that's why you don't get to skip ahead. So I really do believe it's sustainable to hit your goals in a way that is steady and allows you to evaluate and trust your gut intuition. And she said she encouraged you to decide your next best step when you're in a good mood and not when you're feeling down. And I was like, that is so common sense and fucking brilliant.
Yeah, no, that makes total sense. I mean, when we make decisions in a bad place, we're making reactionary decisions. We're not making proactionary decisions. I just wanted to throw out there the 34% Rotten Tomatoes review on an Adam Sandler movie from 2006 called Click,
Okay.
which is exactly what you were just describing. It's all about how he somehow got a magic remote that fast forwarded through what at the time he was like all the bullshit so that he can get to what he wants to do in his life.
Oh, but then he got there and he missed everything.
He missed everything.
Yeah. Yeah. I was in 6th grade or 5th grade when I read a story about a little boy who had this magic string and he could just pull the string and it could like skip ahead. So like he was like not ready for a test. So like he pulled the string and he like skipped ahead. Now he's in next grade. And then he like pulled the string a little bit more and then he was in high school and like it's the same thing. I think Click just came from the story of this little kid who pulled the string too much. At any rate, I wanted to say, like, going back to the good mood or bad mood, sometimes when I'm in my email inbox, I start to get a little overwhelmed because, like, the only emails I have to respond to often require a little bit of research of,
Thinking.
they're like someone's asking me to do this event, and I already said I would do it, but I have given them rates before, and they, like, want rates again, and they asked for my rates to be lowered. And but they were like, oh, can we get your rates? And also, like, this is our first time, so it'd be great if you could lower your rates to help us support this event. And I was immediately pissed. I was so pissed off because I was like, what are you talking about? Like, what? And so I was like, I just want you to know I got this email. I'm really behind on my emails. You will have a response from me by the end of this week.
Yeah.
And I was like, because nothing good is going to come from what I want to say in this moment. And I just need to be able to get angry and feel my feelings. And also go, well, why am I in a bad mood now? Like, what happened? It's not intentional. She personally did not intend to piss me off in any way. But it's this is, by the way, guys, this is like a constant, like, I'm asked, my inbox is mostly people asking me to do free things or to negotiate the rates I say of things. And so
to partner up.
Which means do it for free.
Do it for free.
And so by the time I got to this email, it already had gone through like 7 people wanting to do things for free. And then this person wants to pay me, but not as much. And I was like, I got to walk away because I have an appropriate response. I'm sure we can get to a place where it's going to work for both of us. But I just was angry. And so it's always better if you're not in a good place to just like give yourself a permission. And this goes to slow living. If my response to her at the end of the week means she can't work with me, then it wasn't for me. You know, like slow living. Like, I really love what Stephanie's talking about because we used to live that fast pace. We were in Australia, then Spain, then New York, then UK. And it's like, and I don't actually want to do that anymore. And so I think it's like really,
we have tried to be more intentional. Before it was like, oh, you're willing to pay us? We'll be there. Even if it's like stupid. Yeah. You know, for us to travel that way.
Also, by the way, when you're new in an industry or new at a thing, I do think that you need to get your feet wet. I do think you need to.
Yeah, that's fair.
I want to make sure, like, I don't want any Pilates instructors like working for free, but I also, sometimes you do. And so I think, like, I never flew anywhere for free, but I definitely wouldn't travel for the rates I used to travel on. However, because I was willing to say yes to things and learn from those experiences, I could keep changing my contract. Had I had my current situation set up now, well, one, I wouldn't know all the things. I wouldn't know all the things that drive me crazy when I travel. And it's like, no, I do need my own hotel room. And I actually do need pistachio milk for my coffee or something. Like, I know that what I need, right? I sound like Mariah Carey, but you know what? I know why Mariah Carey is now like that, because sometimes you don't have what you need and then you have to perform at your best and you don't have it. So I wouldn't know all the things that really helped me be the person I am had I not gone through that stuff. So I don't think anyone should skip ahead, but also at some point you have to go, okay, hold on. Do I need this? Right? So anyways, I also just want to say, she shared a quote, discipline is just choosing between what you want now and what you want most. And just going back to, like, you saying, like, now we're more intentional, it's like, it can be really flattering to be asked to do certain things. And so, but also, what do we want most? And so is that part of the most, or is that actually just flattering? And then, you know, so you all have to decide, like, when you're saying yes or doing things, like, what does it have? Is it on the journey of what you want most? But I really liked her definition, her quote of discipline. Because
Yeah.
most people think it's like means like
I mean, she was full of them.
She was so. I mean, there's so much stuff. I have to.
Yeah, she defined FOMO as figure only myself out. Figure only myself out. So meaning, stop the comparison game. Yeah. Where we're probably scrolling the gram and then beating ourselves up about it, right? And she also said, it's not too late to start now. Right? So you can, instead of FOMO as in you're missing, you're not doing what they're doing on Instagram. FOMO is figuring only myself out. What do you want to do? How are you going to get, what is your path? Where are you going? And you can start to figure that stuff out today. She said, start pivoting. It's time. Let's do this, right? She also emphasized setbacks are normal. And she said something that I laughed about because one of the things that we say a lot in OPC is if you only have 5 minutes, just do 5 moves. Don't make a big thing out of not having time. And we just had somebody quit the other day. Oh, I only was able to log into class once this week, and I'm barely getting to it, right? And so they quit their entire membership, and now I'm like thinking that I'm going to email her back and say, hey, that's okay.
Yeah.
Think about that. Even if you came, only 5 minutes in a week, would it be worth it to start now and be consistent with 5 minutes and then consistent with 10 minutes?
And also, what are you going to do without it? You're going to somehow be better at doing your Pilates somewhere else?
Clearly
you're not. And
clearly, if they can't log in at home, they're obviously not going to a studio to do it, right?
And also, some people actually only do it once a week, and that's fine. I only log into Max HBO on Sundays for John Oliver. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I don't go. So I think we have to stop putting so much pressure on ourselves that it has to be all or nothing. If that's how you're living your life, you're going to miss out on a lot of things.
Yeah. And Stephanie said, if you're doing a 30-day challenge, but it takes you 45 days, you did not fail. You still did the challenge. You did it on your time, and that's okay.
That's FOMO, figuring only
myself out. That's right. Yeah. And she said you'd be way more proud of yourself for going, even if you have to take a day off. Right. I was just thinking about the video you showed me last night about the one-legged...
The Pope, yes.
No, but that's funny. The one-legged
that girl.
athlete.
Yes, the Nike girl.
Who the reason that she is now the Nike girl is because she entered herself into a competition. She has a bionic leg. I don't really know what all the right terms are there, but she was trying to do a...
It was like a thrust, a clean.
Clean. She was trying to do a clean with a barbell.
Yeah.
Right. And
that's hard with two legs. I'm just going to be really honest. And she has one leg that doesn't really bend like her other leg does.
She's in the middle of a stadium with all these people. Everyone's watching. There's all the things. And she's being filmed and she doesn't know she's being filmed and she fails. She fails. Yeah. She gets it halfway up and just can't go and drops the bar and she's frustrated with herself. She's
she's
okay.
also starting to cry and it's really emotional.
So she drops the bar. Well, she leans back over. She's like, all right, you literally can see her say shit, on this video. Right. And there's no audio to it, but she's like, shit. So she leans over and she tries again and she fails again. And it's this point that she totally breaks. Obviously she's been frustrated all day long and she breaks and she literally starts crying. And it's super emotional, right? And she leans over and she puts her head on her arms and you could see herself make the decision, I'm not going to quit here. I'm going to get through this, even though I probably have disqualified myself already from whatever this competition is because I didn't get it up on the first try. I didn't get up on the second try. And she tries a third time and she succeeds. And it is this heartfelt, amazing experience. And I have to imagine that she is more proud of herself for completing it, for being just making the decision to stay with it than she was, then obviously if she quit, she'd be beating herself up.
Well, and I think, first of all, I got chills and emotional just like thinking about it because I like, and every time I've watched it multiple times, and trust me, you guys, she's on a list of like, okay, I gotta email her publicist, I gotta get on the pod. I have so many questions, but every day I talk to women who are beating themselves up for how little they've done.
Yeah.
That they think they've done, which, by the way, is more than most people will do in a day, right? And it
Especially
frustrates me because never have you ever shamed yourself into doing the thing you said you were going to do. It doesn't work. That is not how our brains work. Our brains avoid shame and judgment. It doesn't feel good. It doesn't bring your dopamine up. It's not what motivates your brain to do shit.
Yeah.
And so we have to do some FOMO, figuring my own self out, and start congratulating ourselves. We did fucking 5 minutes.
Yeah.
First of all, if you don't, no one else is. No one else is going to come up and congratulate you on things that they don't know have happened. And they won't know have happened. That's why we do the FYFs. And do you know how many people won't share their wins? I don't want to share it, Papa. It's so small. Okay, but you do understand that that's going to inspire someone else.
Yeah.
So anyways, be nice to yourself. Get some FOMO.
Be nice to yourself.
The new FOMO.
I think that decision to stay with it, to be consistent, will be so much more gratifying over the long run, even if it's smaller increments than, whatever the prescribed amount is or whatever that thing is, So that I love this FOMO. I love this idea of figuring only myself out. It helps get rid of that comparison energy. And create a safe space for you to succeed in. So,
yeah.
Very cool. Very, very cool. All right, stick around. We'll be right back. We're going to cover those be it action items from Stephanie O'Day. Okay, welcome back. Finally, let's talk about those be it action items. What are the bold, executable, intrinsic, or targeted action items can we take away from your convo with Stephanie O'Day? She said, hey, funny enough, I'm going to tell you to journal. But I'm going to tell you how to journal in a very structured way.
I also, it's the only person I would let journal, say journal. So
it's funny because I've heard Lesley say this about 250 times now. Hey, if you're going to tell, use journaling as your be it action item, you have to give us a structure of how to do it. And she started laughing and she said, I can do that.
Yeah.
In fact, she has a free guided daily journaling worksheet that you can print out and you can write on. If you go to stephanieoday.com/daily, we will put that link in the show notes. But she's a big proponent. It gives you structure. It tells you how to journal, what to journal about. It gives you prompts. But she also specifically mentioned that picking up a pen and paper or pencil and paper is different than typing on a computer. It just puts you in a different mindset. I mean, she's a writer, right? She got a book deal. She wrote a blog for 8 years about cooking, right? She's like constantly writing. So she definitely would know. She's the authority. She said that her tool will help you get in the right mindset. It gives you action steps, and consistency. It builds the muscle of slow, sustainable growth. She said your brain engages differently when writing by hand, which I think is interesting. And it helps you move towards your goals, even in off days.
And also, your handwriting does not have to be good for it to actually still do the thing it does with your brain. If I write things down, which is why I like my Remarkable tablet, I actually don't even need to look at the tablet again. I remember it.
Sure. Yeah.
But
that's how I used to study for tests.
And
I copy my own notes.
My nails are too long now, and it's really annoying to type things. I'm trying to learn how to type with the nails that.
Hi, buddy. Are you trying to learn how to type too?
Yeah, Bione's learning how to type. He's also truly found his voice this week.
It's pretty funny.
He's like, oh, I'm going to bark at this thing. And it's like, never did.
Well, yeah.
Anyway.
His trip to Joshua Tree was a win.
Yeah.
One thing that she said that I laughed about, she said, look, once you get into a routine, if something changes the routine, it's okay. because she said, you are not a spreadsheet. Mm-hmm. And I was like, oh.
There's actually
That's a really good idea.
On, you know how, to go back to the long intro we had about politics, there's a study that shows like the more rigid your thinking is, the more likely you are to get stuck in beliefs that are not serving you. And so I'm a big habits coach, I'm a mindset coach, all those different things. But you'll notice that like I'm always giving grace, giving lots of grace and kind of rolling with it. And I really love what she said here because I have a morning routine and I have 3 hours, but I don't have, I have to get out the door at 6:01. Otherwise, it's not going to, I just get outside.
Face in the ice bowl, rub the banana peel, 6:11, take the elevator from 6:17.
Yeah.
So dumb.
Right. I don't live like that. I do have, and I post my schedule of the day with my outfit of the day. I'm like, here's my outfit and here's the schedule. And it might look rigid, but you have to understand like most of the things on there take 20 minutes, but I gave it the full hour so that I can be flexible. I can roll with it. If I need to have a little bit more time with something, if I want to take a longer walk, I can. If I want to have longer Pilates, I take a shorter walk. And so by not being rigid, it allows my habits and routines to be very malleable and to serve me and what I need that day. And I think that's really important. So we're not a spreadsheet. Okay,
so what about
many.
you?
You guys have to listen to the episode because she actually gave us so many beit action items, to be honest. So I'm just going to take a few. Celebrate your process, even if it's not linear. We actually have talked about that 17 times on this episode already today. So you celebrate your process, even it won't be linear. It is impossible. It never is. You don't have to read the book. Go look at the cover of the book called The Middle. The messy middle. It's bright yellow. When you see the graph, that graph of it going up, down, up, down, up, down, it's like a heart rate monitor and it's going up, but it's always going up, even though it might go down way lower than it did. And it goes up. Brad's looking at it right now. Down, up, down. But like,
it's not even a graph. It's like a squiggly line that goes in a square and a circle and a triangle.
Yeah,
and a diagonal, and then comes out.
If you take a bigger picture, it goes to the end. It's always going up. It's like the stock market. The stock market is not linear on the up. It goes up and down, up and down, up and down. But guess what? It always ends up. It's up, right? So hopefully, I don't know what it is today, guys. Anyways, she also said use gold stars, stickers, or a visible chart to track your small wins. Yes, it's a behavior from childhood, charts from childhood, but it's very important. You need to see it visibly. And then she said choose non-food rewards like a cozy nap or a pedicure or something like that. Like the things that you feel like are indulgent and you would never do. Those should be your rewards. Make a list of them. That's what my therapist really had me do. And then she also reminded us you can absolutely get to where you want to go, but you have to trust in yourself that you can do that, and you'll get there when you get there. I'm Lesley Logan.
And I'm Brad Crowell.
Thank you so much for listening. What a longer recap we had today, but we were very chatty, so we hope you enjoyed it. Send your questions and your wins in. We want to celebrate them.
Yes,
and we want
do.
to answer your questions. So beitpod.com/questions. And then make sure you share this episode with a friend, especially the slow living episode, because Stephanie has obviously so many great tips. She is amazing. And check out her journaling prompts. I know I am. Until next time, be it till you see it.
Bye for now.
That's all I got for this episode of the Be It Till You See It podcast. One thing that would help both myself and future listeners is for you to rate the show and leave a review. And follow or subscribe for free wherever you listen to your podcast. Also, make sure to introduce yourself over at the Be It Pod on Instagram. I would love to know more about you. Share this episode with whoever you think needs to hear it. Help us and others be it till you see it. Have an awesome day.
Be It Till You See It is a production of the Bloom Podcast Network. If you want to leave us a message or a question that we might read on another episode, you can text us at +1 310 905 5534 or send a DM on Instagram at BeItPod.
It's written, filmed, and recorded by your host, Lesley Logan, and me, Brad Crowell.
It is transcribed, produced, and edited by the Epic team at Diseño.co.
Our theme music is by Ali at Apex Production Music, and our branding by designer and artist Gianfranco Cioffi.
Special thanks to Melissa Solomon for creating our visuals.
Also to Angelina Herrico for adding all of our content to our website. And finally, to Meredith Root for keeping us all on point and on time. All right, now, welcome back. Welcome back. I hope you're loving life. Welcome back. Let's start that again.
You're just waiting for me to smile.
My mind did a little loop there. All right, welcome back. Let's start.